Like if this was Elon Musk making a $30 million accounting error, I'd buy it because he's worth almost $1 trillion. That could happen. But who makes a $30 million accounting error on their financial disclosure and then they correct it and they're now essentially broke? A net worth of $18,000, which is right above the poverty line in this country, which also doesn't make any sense, does it? She makes $174,000 a year as a member of Congress. So how does that add up? And she's been in Congress since 2018. So that doesn't make any sense either. And it's not supposed to make sense. But do you think it's a coincidence that Ilhan Omar corrected the record randomly on a Friday right after the House announced an investigation into her finances? And do you think it's a coincidence that she corrected the record randomly on a Friday only after a bill was introduced in the Senate to stop Somali immigrants from smuggling money through airports back to Somalia in suitcases? According to Congress, at least $700 million in cash has been smuggled through the Minneapolis International Airport alone. That's the same Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport, which also happens to be in Ilhan Omar's district, something she seems to be really genuinely concerned about.
If money from U.S. tax dollars is being sent to help with terrorism in Somalia, we want to know. And we want those people prosecuted. And we want to make sure that that doesn't ever happen again.
Yeah, that's not somebody that's lying right there. Do you think she's lying? I'm not saying she's lying. We want to know, and I believe that she wants to know. I'm sure you do, Ilhan Omar. But do you think it's a coincidence that the $9 billion Somali fraud scandal happening right now in Minnesota is also happening in her district? Ilhan Omar even identifies as a Somalian refugee on Twitter first before she mentions anything about being an American or a member of Congress, because Ilhan is Somalia first. Not America first, she is Somalia first. It says it right there in her Twitter bio. Like so many Somalis living in America today, like Decca Delac, a state rep in the state of Maine.
How can the politics in Somalia can be, resonate what we have here in the United States, the democracy that we have? How can you help us, be a better country and build back what we used to have back in long time ago? So hopefully we will be able to help our country, our former country, Somalia.
Yes, we're very concerned about Somalia. What a brilliant, ravishing woman that is right there. And we're all supposed to sit back and just pretend that what she just said is not only normal, but acceptable, and that was on Good Morning America. That woman was elected to serve the people of Maine, a small state in the northeastern part of the country, but she is openly Somalia first, not America first, certainly not Maine first. She is Somalia first because Somalis are here for themselves and for Somalia, not for America. And do you think it's a coincidence that Feeding Our Future, an organization that stole millions of dollars from Minnesota taxpayers, we don't have to say allegedly, people have already been convicted. Do you think it's a coincidence that they are headquartered in the small town of St. Anthony, Minnesota, which also happens to be in Ilhan Omar's district? In fact, Feeding Our Future headquarters, located at 3055 Old Highway 8, is less than 5 miles from Ilhan Omar's office in a town of just 10,000 people, most of them Somali. And you're going to tell me that all of this is just some miraculous coincidence and that Ilhan Omar had no idea what was going on. A $250 million Somali fraud scandal happening just 5 miles from her office in a town with 10,000 people, and she knew nothing about it. That's what you're going to tell me. Of course, we're not accusing the Congresswoman of any wrongdoing tonight. On this show, we wouldn't do that. But what a coincidence. At least 60 Somalian immigrants have already been convicted in that case in a state where Somalian immigrants are accused of stealing over $9 billion from taxpayers. And then suddenly you have a Somalian refugee, a Muslim who wears a hijab around the Capitol, whose net worth went from just thousands of dollars to millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars in just 2 years. And now, all of a sudden, she wants us to believe that she is essentially broke. right when multiple investigations looking into her finances began. Just my opinion, but I find that hard to believe.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.